Two young men were taking photos on the edge of a cliff, oblivious to the cracks forming in the rocks beneath their feet. As they posed in front of the camera, the rock suddenly crumbled, and they tragically fell off the cliff. Fortunately, they didn't suffer severe injuries, but instead landed on a protruding rock. Although their lives were not in immediate danger, all their belongings, including food, were left on top of the cliff. Surrounded by a desolate wilderness, their situation was perilous. They couldn't climb up or down, and faced with such extreme circumstances, how could they save themselves? Time quickly passed, and on the second day after the fall, the two men were thirsty and hungry, having never eaten. The chilly morning wind made them shiver. At this moment, Jack, wearing a yellow jacket, seemed to notice something. He called out to John beside him to look up at the sky. It turned out that a helicopter was flying towards them. The two hurriedly stood up and shouted at the sky, but ultimately the helicopter couldn't spot them. They could only watch helplessly as it flew further and further away. At noon, a famished John accidentally discovered chocolate in Jack's pocket. He begged Jack to share half with him, but Jack refused, stating that they could only eat it when they were at their hungriest. After saying this, Jack kept complaining about John, saying that if John hadn't suggested taking photos, they wouldn't have ended up in this predicament. The aggrieved John wanted to say something, but stopped himself. That night, John sneakily reached for the chocolate, but unexpectedly, Jack suddenly woke up. Seeing John acting suspiciously, he questioned whether John was trying to steal the chocolate. In fact, kind-hearted John had noticed Jack sleeping on the edge of the cliff and was just afraid he would fall off. However, Jack discovered that the chocolate in his pocket was missing. The two men, already harboring dissatisfaction towards each other, made Jack even more suspicious that John had stolen the chocolate. But John was completely innocent and stated that he didn't steal it. The truth was that Jack was the real thief. He had secretly hidden his chocolate, then used its disappearance as an excuse because he planned to eat it all by himself. After John fell asleep, Jack secretly took out the hidden chocolate. However, just as he was about to eat it, strange sounds came from behind him, startling Jack and causing him to drop the chocolate off the cliff. The guilty Jack tried to act calm, but when he turned around, he discovered that it was just John talking in his sleep. Jack was utterly devastated. The furious Jack loudly scolded John and told him to stop sleeping. The awakened John said that he just had a strange dream where his father told him that the chance for survival was below the cliff. In the dream, his father kept urging him to look down. John, half believing and half doubting, started to look down and actually found the piece of chocolate that had fallen. However, when he went down to pick it up, he discovered that someone had already eaten half of it. The name of this exciting suspense movie is Horror Stories 2.